Hello, friends. Welcome back to Value Vintage Cards. So today I'm going to uh, give you a little bit of a more controversial topic. I try to usually steer clear. I try to go kind of for the happy topics and share some fun cards and talk about some of the positives. But this is one of those topics that'll probably upset a couple folks, or maybe it'll have people rethink a couple things. But I'm sure there's a few people that will maybe think in opposite of what I'm going to say. So if that's you, it's not meant to offend. It's not meant to criticize. It's not meant to cause argument. Please feel free to respectfully add comments and share your perspective. And one of the things I would encourage too is create a video. If you're a content creator, do a response. It's not, VRs are sometimes set up as like formal challenges, but if you ever see something that's just interesting or worth adding your perspective to, um, I love seeing kind of the ongoing dialogues and the interaction between the community. So if you're not a content creator, just, add to the comments and a little more typing maybe, but feel free to share your perspective. I always appreciate learning from other people. So the topic really is to grade or not to grade. I know there's many folks that the minute they get a card, they look at it and they say, this thing looks like a 4.5, maybe a 5, could be a 4. I'm going to send it in. And I'm going to show you today 30 cards that are ungraded. I may, so I'm not anti grading, I may eventually send in 4 or 5 of them for different reasons. Um, but they're all PC cards. They're all items that I will probably hold on to until my kids need to worry about how to get rid of them. And so for me, that's always been my perspective of it's for me. Do I worry that it's real? Maybe I'd send it in because I'm worrying it's real. Do I worry that it would need to be sold? So if you're constantly, um, selling cards, if you're doing online trading, it really is like certified funds when you get it, authenticated and slabbed. So as much as we see errors and we see silly things, I saw a Venezuelan card that was clearly not Venezuelan for sale on eBay the other day. And, when you see things like that, it makes you question. But at the end of the day, when you see something that's an SGC 3 or a PSA 5, you kind of have an idea, barring, some outliers, it at least gives you an ish. There are some catastrophic errors they make, but I'm going to say 99 point something significant percent of the time, at least it gives you a good ballpark. So I get it if that's your case. If you're worried about the next step, um, a majority of my higher end things are graded, mostly because I bought them that way. A few of them I've sent in for grading. But, when it's a $2,000 item, sometimes I'll think about it and say, yeah, I mean, if my kids need to send that in, I don't want them thinking it's a decorative piece. I want them to know that's something significant and easy to identify. So I get it for that perspective too. So by no means am I, poo-pooing the idea of grading. I just want to share 30 items that, like I said, mostly I'll have ungraded. I might send 4 or 5 of these in, but I'm going to explain why I'm excited to keep them ungraded. So let me get firing. I will start off with all the normal size stuff, whatever normal means, right? Basically just top loader. So 63 tops Hank Aaron. Not perfect condition, but not terrible condition either. So not offended at that. I have no idea what that would grade. I kind of don't care. I've had it forever. Um, this one, 1940 play ball, Joe DiMaggio. I actually got that at the National in oh something. It was kind of in my in-between phase and went to the National, and my dad picked that up for me for $195, $199, something like that, which was super kind. And I think we've done okay on that one. So this one, an uncatalogued. This is one that I think there's at least 2 or 3 out there that people have. Take a look at that fun one. That's a Walter Johnson. That actually they won't slab. There's that missing chunk on the front is real. On the back, it's been glued into an item. So I think it was actually sent in for grading and authentication. I did extreme due diligence. I saw the original auction it was bought from the very credible seller I bought it from. I have zero question that it's real. The only challenge is I can't get it graded even if I wanted to. So that's okay. I had to buy it knowing that. I appreciate them being so transparent and honest. They basically said if you send it in for grading, you're going to get sent back. Don't bother. Here's what they sent us when we tried to have it graded, and here's why. So super comfortable. I still love having that piece of history in my collection. 1964, not just tops, but Venezuelan tops, Hank Aaron. So a little bit of a premium on that. It's a little better than just a standard tops card for value. Here's one that unfortunately has gained a little bit more popularity recently, and that's the minor league pre-rookie, if you will, Ricky Henderson. Um, just kind of a nice card in nice condition. 1957 top Sandy Koufax. Nothing wrong with that. I think literally nothing wrong with it, which sometimes I'll pick these up and I look at them like, what's wrong with that card? And I look at the back and I see it's either written on or ripping or something going on, but that one's pretty clean. That probably would grade okay. Um, 1954 Topps Alkaline Rookie. I have a friend that is a big Detroit collector, if you know what channel I'm talking about. He said, we need a little more Detroit in there. So there you go, my friend. Alkaline. Stickin' 54. Could send in the Ted. It's decent. I'm not one that worries about centering. It's clean front and back. I love these 54 Teds. This one has a little bit of staining to it, so I'm sure it would grade a little bit lower. And centering's about similar. Top of the name's about to go, but the back is really cool on this. And again, what am I doing with it? I'm keeping it. So I'm not slabbing it. This is one that was from my mom. This might be, I believe it is, my very first um, vintage card. So 1955 Topps, Hank Aaron, good shape. Another one from mom. So part of my reason for resisting on some of these too is, and you may share that, when it has sentimental value, I don't want to give it up. I bought several things through the mail and it's a small percentage, but I have had things go missing. And for me, when there's an emotional attachment, I want to keep that in my collection. That's not going anywhere. How about this guy? 1957 Topps. The Brooks rookie. Decent. 62. Again, I just shared this one, but let's see if I can get that to show up a little bit. The back is not the standard tops. That is the Venezuelan issue. So some back damage, but that's a pretty nice little premium card there. Next one is a great football player during his wrestling career. If you know the card, you know that's Bronco Nagurski. But this guy, speaking of people in the wrong uniform, NFL legend John Elway playing for the Yankees minor league baseball team. And I do have some in their actual like main sport that's not baseball. So I've got a Dr. J rookie that I think would probably score out pretty nicely. I've got another one. This is another one from mom back in the 80s, I suppose. Um, Walter Payton rookie card. Mostly good. The only thing there would be on this one is in the top corner is a little bit of a stain. So I could sit there and criticize the card and debate and say, like, oh man, it's probably only going to get a 2 point something instead of a 4.5 or something. I don't really care. It's not going anywhere. I'll never get rid of that. In fact, I'll probably have a note on the back of that one for my kids that says, don't ever get rid of this. This is from your grandma. So for me, if they hold on to 10 cards and have a little bit of value, if they don't want them, I'm okay with that. 55 Bowman Mantle. It's a cool card. 49 Bowman, Stanley Musial. And to follow that up, I've got the 52 Bowman Stan Musial. Decent. That one's got actually a pretty big crease in it, but from a distance, it's enjoyable. And I might actually feel worse about that card if they slap a big old like 1-5 on it instead of just seeing it and appreciating it. It's another one from mom. Notice a little bit of a recurring theme. The sentimental ones I do not send in for grading. The ones from mom, the ones from dad, those just will stay in the collection. So 54 Bowman Maze. This one's a somewhat recent pickup. This is one I might consider. Um, I don't know why. Part of it's just the weird sizing of it. These tend to look, I think they represent a little bit better when they're slabbed for 15 bucks. But it's the, what, 81 Ryan Sandberg. So you get those from overseas and they're pretty scarce. Got the good old transagram Tom Seaver. Um, I don't know what these take to get good grades. I mean, it looks good. It's not creased up. You know, could it be a 4 or 5? Yeah. Could it be an A? Sure. Do I care? Not really. The only danger when you're buying things like that are hand cut is if you see things where they value a grade, and you're looking at that saying like that looks like a 5, and then you send it in for grading and it looks like an A when they grade it. Now you're in trouble. Now you're upside down because you probably have overspent. So my rule of thumb is usually spend like it's a nice A and you're comfortable and you're okay. Because I don't know what it takes. I don't want to pay a premium for something that isn't worth a premium, but I don't know what the line is. I don't know how that's divided on hand cut things. It's silly. It's minimum size not met. It's hand cut. Like what? A couple more that I know people might say send it on in and see what happens, but I'll pass. 55 and 56 tops. Jackie Robinson. So those are both clean enough for the collection. I enjoy them. Last couple, I know I had a friend looking for some playing days of this guy. These aren't too expensive. They're, I don't know, give or take a couple $100. So batter ups from the mid 30s are pretty cool. This one's actually with the Browns. So kind of interesting there. But actually, really interesting there. It's hard to read his position. Is that third base? What? Rogers Hornsby? Third base? What? Is that what that says? Am I going crazy? Old man needs better glasses. It says third base. I don't think I've ever noticed that. That's crazy. I like it more now. What just happened? Well, I got about four more I'm going to share. Um, 69 Nolan Ryan. Beautiful card, right? This was an eBay purchase, gosh, probably '04, '03 from my wife. I kind of pre-registered for a few things and she went in and got to pick out which one she wanted to get me. But um, damn you, Jeff. At some point, Jeff had this card. So, a really nice looking card. Um, Jeff had to claim it. So, I'm at least the second owner. Jeff had it at some point. 1963, a couple oversized ones. And these I do lean a little bit more towards maybe getting graded just because the storage of it gets a little bit easier, I think, when they can kind of lock together and be a little more um, protected and guarded because these bigger cases tend to have a little more wiggle room. But 63 cons of Roberto, that one. Trimmed a little too tight, but still gets the message across. 59 Bazooka, Hank Aaron. Happy to have that thing. And then I've shown this one a couple times. It's my pre-rookie, my 56 cons of Mr. Frank Robinson. So that's 30 items. PSA is what, 20 some bucks? So with them, this is 700 and some odd dollars. SGC is, I don't think anything goes over 1500 that I just showed you. So SGC would be like 15 bucks per plus shipping plus whatever. So, call it just under 500 bucks. When you look at it this way, and this is where I want you to give some thought and consideration. I send all those in, I get them slabbed. They're all going to sit right back in a box where they came from. I don't have that much money right now. Let's do this in reverse. Instead of pulling it out of your budget, let's say I've got to prioritize. I've got to get these things graded, but I don't have that much money in my account right now. It's not in the hobby budget currently. How do I do it? I got to sell something. So what do you want to give up? Put those things in some plastic. Want to give up your Bob Gibson rookie? I don't. Want to give up your 57 Mantle? It's got that 56 stats on the back. MVP season. 57's a cool year. That year, right before that, he hit 353 with 52 homers and 130 RBIs. And a few people don't like that. 57 to me is a really cool set. Um, let's keep those. Maybe we'll get rid of this one. that silly 66 Venezuelan Clemente. That's just sitting around collecting dust. Let's get rid of that and pay for some slabs. Or, hey, I just upgraded that, but let's move it out of here. That 53 Bowman will stand the man. Just picked this up too. I was excited, but I guess it's got to go. Tony Gwynn, minor league card. In an 8. Notice they're all graded, but I didn't send them in. I bought them that way. And the last one, this might go slightly above. Maybe not, I can't remember. But when you're looking for a cool Rogers Hornsby, it doesn't get a whole lot better than that. He's with Boston. Is he? He's with Boston. That jersey does not say anything about anything other than Cardinals. So is he with the Boston Cardinals? That's no, not really. You see it a lot with those old cards. So they end up with either multi-year issue where they have the picture but the team's updated, or a lot of them you just see where they took a picture last year and they've been traded, so they update the team on the front of the card or back of the card, but the image is what it is. Um, they don't have the ability to go out there and take a new picture, so they just use what they got. So um, yeah, not to be controversial, rude, Debbie Downer, any of those things. I just want to throw that perspective out there. I would rather have all those cards I just showed you. I don't want to give up any of them. Doesn't mean I have to keep those other ones ungraded. Yes, and some of them I will forever because of the sentimental and the perspective I have on it. But even the other ones that are kind of borderline, they're just cards I've acquired over the years. There's no special story or attachment. I could probably send that in and with insurance feel safe enough that I'm not going to you know lose everything if it gets lost in the mail. But um, I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't see why I would be doing that. At some point, I might change my mind if uh, I'm considering more of what the family might need, um, or if I decided I want to move on from some of those. Then yeah, grading them. I've graded a few that way. I have duplicates and they're both ungraded. I'll grade them both and see how they come back. And half the time, I end up getting rid of the one that's a nicer grade because it's got more value when they both looked about the same to me. So, kind of a different take on things, but that's how I collect. I always like hearing how people collect and their different perspectives, but that's where I sit. That's the perspective I sit from. So, please feel free to share. Please, if you want to throw me the thumbs down or a bad comment, just keep it respectful. I have no problem with that. Always love learning from other folks, but just want to share a little bit of my collection and a little bit of my thoughts. So, catch up with you guys next time. Have a good one.